think we are live. Can you hear me? I feel like my voice is down a little bit. I have to check. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, I'll check in. Let me see a little feedback here. I can't hear myself in the headphones too great. I hear the guitar fine. I don't hear the voices good. Sound is fine. See, it's different mixes. What you hear and what I hear are two different things. We're not on the same bus. It sounds good, yeah. See, it's my headphone mix. Let me check this. Let me check my headphone mix. It's a new computer. I swapped out the computer over here. And so I had to reload all the software and load everything up. Let me see here. So where would be my... I think it's this one. Check, 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 check. Yeah, there it goes. Check 1, 2. Yeah, much better. Much better. And it, yeah, okay. Much better. It's like night and friggin' day. Oh my God. All right, we'll just close that out. And we'll get this out of here. Yeah, much better. I can hear my voice so much better. All right, and where are we? We are over here. It does forget that every week. Every week I have to reset that setting. And then we close, and here we go. Again, YouTube's telling me to run an ad right now. Yeah, as I've promised, we're saving all the ads for Christmas. Sounds good? Yeah. I think again, it's two different mixes, and I just think my headphone, the volume for the microphone was just down a little bit. The guitar's way louder than the voice. All right, let me check that. I give it a check. Hear the old checkaroonie. I can see it. I can see it going a little bit higher here. Hold on. Where's my control bot? That there. Check, check. I think we got to go here. And I think here. And then like this. And check, check. Check, 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 1, 2. That seems a lot closer now. It does look a lot closer in the meter. All right, bring that here. And then this back up here. And better? Good. Everyone's saying it's better now. Good. Check, check. 1, 3. Yeah, I'm all the way up. I'm maxed out here. There's no going any higher. So it better be good. Also, I do have the guitar, it's in a new... Oh, no, that should be right. I'm going through a new iteration of the software, so I got to, maybe I'll bring this up here. Check, check. Yeah, see, now that's stronger. That's kind of strong, too. Hold on. I'll bring that back a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a good mix. Yeah. All right, then. Now, I don't see you guys anymore. There you are. Guitar sounds great. Good. Yeah, this is THU, but this is a little bit different patch. This is, what is this? That's actually a Fender Blues Breaker amp, cranked up to the max, running through an EVH 412. Nutty. That's wacky. That's whack. That's what the kids say. A lot of reverb though. Just a patch I found. Yeah, you will see more. You might see more cats tonight because I'm the only one here. My wife and my son are traveling, and my daughter is off at college. So king of the castle for the weekend. What's in the boxes? That's the Donners. They got the carbon fiber, and they're S style. I'll be shooting those this weekend. Think the whole audio is just a bit on the high side? I can bring everything just down a little bit. Is that a little better? Is that a little better? So it's a new computer. So the computer that it still runs. The computer wasn't broken, but it was time. It's literally 10 years old as of like August, a little over 10 years old. I bought it in August of 2012. And let's just say, I don't think it's been turned off very much in the last 10 years. That thing has run almost nonstop. It's been a workhorse. That thing has worked. And I didn't have to change it. There was no reason. But what happened was I found myself with some extra parts. I found myself with an extra, I had a motherboard. What I really had was a motherboard and a processor. I had an AMD X570 Mobo and a AMD 2700X chip, chipperoo. So that's a lot stronger than a 10-year-old, Intel i7, and the performance could not be ignored. Now, I had tried to upgrade this before, and I had problems with the system causing interference. But I think it was just that particular system. Quite frankly, I think it was the case, right? It was like one of those ridiculous LED friggin' spaceship cases, for the kids. And I think it was that case that was causing the interference. So I moved that over to the synth room, where there's no interference because there's no pickups. And I went back to my old system. And I've been using that literally for 18 months. Right? I went back to that system. It was intolerable, the amount of noise coming out of that other computer. So I did an upgrade on the system in the attic, as many of you know, and so I had the parts left over from that prior system, and I had a case, and I had a power supply, and I had hard drives. All I had to do was buy some RAM and whip it up and get it going, and I did. And so I did that over this weekend. I just built that system a couple days ago and got it sort of going yesterday, and I installed it last night and then was sort of tweaking it last night for a while, and then as we found out, it wasn't quite ready. But I think it's a better rig is certainly more future-proof than what I had. So that's that new Eddie rig. Where's my normal? My normal rig would be like. So I wonder if it's just. I wonder if it's just that this rig is quieter. Right? That's the normal. Here's dual heavy rig. Is it? Where is it? Yeah. And then, ooh. Oh, that's coming through. Wow. I guess it depends on the patch. It sounds like a clock. That's exactly what the other one sounded like. I'll do some investigation. These are humbuckers, so that's of concern. Oh yeah, there it is. Damn. I wonder if it's the fluorescent light. I'll have to do some testing because there's so much different that's on right now. It wasn't doing it. In fact, I broke out the Strat with the single coils and I wasn't getting it. So I'm wondering if it's the fluorescent lamp in any way, but it doesn't. It sounds like a fan. That sounds like a fan to me. No, you get closer to the machine. I move away from the machine. Get close to the machine. Oh yeah. But without a doubt, that's a clock. The thing is it the motherboard? Or is it a fan? You know? I don't know. I can probably kill it a little bit by just raising the gate. It's still there. Still there. Well, maybe I'll be going back to that other system, finding another use for this one. Yeah. Once I bust the gate open, you can hear it. You wonder if that's the clock. If that's the motherboard clock, there's nothing you can do. Right? It does sound like the ticking of a clock. And, well, let's do this. Hold on. Let's check the fan rate. I have this little app here. What is it saying? CPU fan's pretty steady. About 1700 RPM. Yeah, I'm not hearing. I'm not hearing a wild fluctuation in the tick. The tick sounds so steady. It sounds like a clock. You wonder if I'm ever going to get a computer that's going to be able to work again. I need some. You wonder. That's the second machine that I've tried to use to replace. And It does the ticka ticka ticka. You think that's fan noise? You think that's a brush? You think that's a going around? Could be. You know what I'll do is I can't pull the CPU fan, but I can pull. I think the CPU fan has separate lighting. I can turn that lighting off, and the same with the. Although I'll just pull the back fan and see if that makes a difference. It could be the front fans, because those are the closest to me, right? Those are the closest approximation. So I got to do some experimentation. That sucks. You know. Now I'm wondering if it, this has the front fans. I'm wondering if that HP. It's got to have a front fan in it. I'll have to double check, but it must have a front fan, that old Hewlett Packard. What does Windows have to do? We got to love Windows. What does that have to do with anything? That's a fundamental misunderstanding on how computers and electricity works. I agree, Scott. It could be a lot of things. It could be the bus, right? But I think it's going to be a fan. Exactly, my fans are microphonic. You get Wi-Fi router noise through your amp. Yeah, I had that same problem. I moved the Wi-Fi access point to another room. You need a USB ground loop? I don't think it's a grounding issue. I doubt it's a grounding thing. I think it's a I think it's putting out an EMF. I think that's just straight up EMF. Yeah, my cell is here, but I don't really. There's a cell to another table. Oh, hold on. I turned that gate up. It could be the cell. The cell wasn't over here last night. We could have a working theory here. No. Nah. Now. Put that up. Get that around 72 dB. There we go. Try another guitar. You think a guitar other than one with EMGs? Here's my prediction. This gets worse, not better. Remember that prediction. This gets worse, not better. Yeah, we'll try another humbucker, and then we'll try a single coil, just for shits and giggles. But I can tell you, I'd be shocked if this didn't have the same problem, because it affected every guitar the last time. If anything, I think the EMGs are. Hear it? Right, that's what you old humbucker. You want to really hear it, you just switch to a. Hey, bud. Oh. This should be pretty vicious. Again, pro step, plug it in. Thanks, Buzz. I think I just missed that. Let me see it. Java. Sounds like a sprinkler system, yeah. The new computer is not liquid cooled. It is air cooled. All right, we're going back to humbucker. Humbuckers, humbuckers, the buckers that buck the hum. Do there and then here. See the EMGs. All right, so I don't think it's the ballast. We can test it. Oop. Stepping on my freaking cord here, of course, because if it's on the floor, I'm stepping on it. Oh, that's a solid no. You see that coming a mile away. Boy. Did I buy the purple Soldano pedal? I did not. So when I first plug in the guitar, it sounds good, and everything's going fine, and I add a couple more things, and I'm working on it, and then I come back, and it sounds weird. I plug in, and it's like, I'm like, what the hell is this? And I'm over here, I'm like changing patches. I can't. I'm like, oh my God, this sounds terrible. And I go over and I'm like back at like THU, and I'm like, what's going on here? And I go to like a tweed sound. I'm like, it's got no. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this thing? I can't figure it out. I'm like, that does not sound right. And this is, I don't even want to tell you how long this went on for. All right? Anybody want to guess what I did? Anybody want to guess what I did? The wah is on. Exactly. I stepped on the wah accidentally. Oh, that went on for a while. And I was like, oh my God! I was like, what is wrong with this? This is ridiculous. This makes no sense. This makes no sense. I'm like turning all the effects off. I'm like, that guitar does not sound right. This sounds bizarre. Yeah, of course it does. You got a wow wide open there, dummy. Oh, yeah, that went on. That went on longer than I care to admit. I've had a similar thing. Raise your hand if you've ever done this. With the PV Viper, I'd plug in and I would get absolutely no audio whatsoever. And I'm triple checking the cables, and I got nothing. You know, it's like, I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Anyone want to know what's wrong? Anybody want to guess? Right? Got my PV Viper. Nothing. Can't figure it out. No, I was plugged in. Tuner wasn't on. Michael has it right. The volume pedal was down. The pedal on the left is always a volume pedal, no matter what patch you're on. The one on the right is usually a wah pedal. But if you accidentally step on the heel of the pedal on the left and tilt it all the way up, you have no volume. None. And I am like freaking out. I'm going, what the hell is wrong? I'm changing cables. I'm doing like, because remember that you don't run through the pedal board. The pedal board connects through like a 10-pin cable, right? So I remember that a couple of times. And I think by like the third time, I was like, well, check the volume pedal first, you big dope. And oh, it is down. Oh, what do you know? You've done that? Yeah, it happens. The volume pedal. All the way down to 0. And you just forget, because I just never had a volume pedal really on any of my rigs. You know, that sort of wasn't the thing. I was using my volume, you know, use the volume knob. So it would throw me the first time definitely for a loop. I'm like, am I going to open up a service ticket on this thing? Of course, I think what would happen is that if I unplugged it, the volume would be restored, right? It needs to get the signal to have its volume turned all the way down. I think if I unplug the foot switch, I would unplug the foot switch, take it to the store, and it would miraculously work. I mean, I swear it wasn't working at home. And then I get home, and I'd plug the goddamn pedal board back in, and now it's not working again! Oh! Now, don't get me started. It is so I can't even tell you how hot it is here today. It is ridiculously hot and muggy. It's pretty gross out. For November, it is ridiculously warm. We're probably going to break a heat record tomorrow. So I don't like it. I should have a ribeye steak dinner. That's not a bad idea, but I don't like sitting out in a restaurant by myself. You know, unless they have a lounge like a bar. I'll sit in the bar, sure. It's weird sitting just out at a table by yourself. It's like the world's saddest meal. I'll take a side of tears with that. I'm hot because I'm wicked hot. Well, I can tell you why it's hot. We have a blocking high. You really want to know? We have a blocking high out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. We have a low that's been actually dumping a lot of rain out over the Midwest. They had some tornadoes out there, passing through like the Ohio Valley. That high is blocking that cold front low from coming through. It's riding up along the high. Well, lows spin backwards, so it's dragging all this moisture, like literally out of Florida and way down south, way up to here. They're having record heat in like Canada. It's all the way up past northern Maine. It's the warmth is sort of punched up on this ridge. Damn. You got slammed with tornadoes yesterday, did you? 17? Wow. Between Oklahoma and Arkansas border. Wow. I know, I should just get a weather green screen, right? Just landed from Waikiki. Aloha. It is a pretty cool pressure trough, actually. Nice pressure there. Nice. Nice. I finished the fence. I know a lot of you were at the edge of your seat. Like, what about the fence? What's the news of the fence? Fence. And so forth. But I have... What news of the fence? Here's the news of the fence. Hold on. You ready? You ready for this? Y'all ready for this? I have some doubts as to your readiness. I'm not even sure I'm ready. Remember, I just put this new system on here, so hold on to your butts. I'm about to press a button, and we'll see what happens. Well, am I going to buy a 10-string? That's a good question, Tampa Terry. 10-string. So, like, the low strings stay undoubled, and the 3 high strings are doubled, so you have 6. Wait, that doesn't make sense. What's doubled? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's an 8 string. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. Oh, right. So D through E is doubled, and then E and A are not. Yeah, who would get that? BC Rich, right? I don't know. BC Rich? Who's got the 10 string other than BC Rich? That's the only one I can think of. The BC Rich bitch. The Rich B. Oh, yeah, the bitch 10, yeah. That's what I think. I don't know that... I can't think of another brand. It does a 10, right? Anyway... Oh, Hamer did one as a custom shop? That sounds pricey. I don't have Hamer custom shop money. I barely have BC Rich production model money. Slow down. Do you still own any Panama items? Yeah, I kept the Marauder, which is the big one. The big boy, the big tweed. That's what I have in the cabs, because they're too big to ship, or they'd be long gone. Because I'm cleaning house. That's the fence. That is my new friend. Fence. New fence. So there it is in all of its glory. There it is from another angle. And there it is from a third angle. It's all angles these days. You can hold the weight of 11 stout men. It's quite sturdy, actually. I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. You're saying to yourself, is it plumb? Oh, it's plumb. Oh, it's plumb. It's plumb and level. It's level and plumb. That is there it is, the final fence. The final fence. This is all pressure treated. What do they call this? Shit pine? Is that what that is? Shit pine? It's a lot of knots on it. So it's got a lot of... I'm going to paint it. I don't think I'm going to use a solid color stain, but I think I'm going solid color. I don't think I'm going where you can see it. I think I'm going solid color stain. Sometime in the spring. I got to let it dry out because we did reach in deep to the pile and pull out the wettest boards because, quite frankly, they were straighter. As the boards dry out, they kind of curl and warp, especially the 4-inchers. So you got to get the wet stuff if you want it nice and straight, and that's going to take a while to dry out because it's all pressure treated. Did we ever find out? Is it copper? Is it a copper solution? I forget now. Put a nice flame veneer up. Nice bird's eye veneer. See what it went with a maple fence instead of rosewood. Actually, it's pine. That's pine, baby. That's the old pinery. Oh, yeah. I'm just assuming it was struck by lightning there. Like the hell. Oh yeah, it's the high quality woods you get at Home Depot. Paint it gold. Is it arsenic that they use? Is it copper? Copper tox? Arsenic? Arsenic? Kind of like the knots, gives it a little bit of class, makes it look like wicked natural. So kind of a naughty pine. Naughty pine look. Like a porn star. Starring Candy Samples and Naughty Pine. I got a picture of the base of the, that's what the, that's my, this was the inspiration for the bench. Was I took my table saw. I have a bit of, yeah, right there. My table saw, which is just an absolute bitch to move around. And I built this little base, some 2x4s, and then cover it with a nice piece of board here. And then I use, I cranked, if you can see them, really some nice, what do they call that? Carriage bolt, or I think it's a carriage bolt. And then of course I have some leftover rotors that are pretty heavy, so I just put those down here as a weight. Help make it body. And there are the casters I've been using, which I friggin' love. Really good stuff. Anyway, that's the fence. Welcome a little hot. Let me just back that off just a hair. Copper, I think the old nasty tough stuff was arsenic. Yeah, that sounds right. They use arsenic until they're told not to. My wife loves the fence because, the old fence, and Bobby knows, it needed to be replaced like literally 10 years ago. And, every year would come around and I'd say, oh, I'm going to put a new fence up. And one thing after another, I wouldn't get around to doing the fence. Let me see if I can find it. I thought I had a picture of it. Did I take a pic during the demo? I got to go way back. I got to go back to the demo. The demo period. Yeah, there it is. As you can see, I had a bird's nest in the post. You can see how rotted the post is. But this was a hole. This was a hole in the side of the post. I just sort of ripped it The thing just tore right apart like tissue paper. There was a hole up here, and then they were down in here. This was a chickadee nest. Year after year, probably a good 8 years, they've been coming back to this friggin' chickadee nest. And, every spring would come, and I'd be like, I can't kick the chickadees out. And then it would get too hot, and I wouldn't want to do it, And then we just finally had a stretch of weather. And I said, damn it, I'm taking this fence down. I took the Sawzall out and just demoed the whole thing. Burned. I've already burned like 90% of it. Yeah, there's a little bit of the Sawzall demo. You can see in the background, there's the new posts on the ground waiting to be put. I think I put those posts in the same day. So, it was a long time coming. This is what I've been occupying my time in the last couple of weeks. Just a little putty, right? It'll buff out. And so we have another fence. That was a 3-panel fence. I have a 19-panel fence running around my house. And so my wife was like, we should just do this around the edge. I was like, slow down. That was about $200 a panel to put that in. So do the math. It's going to be like a $4,000 fence, and that's without labor. That's just the cost of materials. So let's rethink. I don't think I'll do a double board design. It's very expensive. Oh, thanks, Jim. I mean, Tim. I saw Tim Jenkins. Saw the J. Moved the J to the front. Now you're Jim Temkins. Hey, Steve, don't worry. I'm still going to send you the... Oh, that way, the Steve I. Gem build. Been busy with work. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But I do recommend... Well, 2 things. One, take the neck off, right, and just see if you can get it in a smaller box, right? And 2, definitely tell me when you send it, because when it's going to a P.O. box, if I don't pick it up within so many days, they're going to send it back to you. So if I know it's coming, then I know to go just get down there and check. And what they do is they just leave a slip of paper in the box. I got to just bring that up to the window and say, I have a box too big for my P.O. box. And they, what box number? They go back, they get it. Okay. And they go in the back and they come out with it. So I've actually had that happen, done a few times. It doesn't seem to be a problem, but they don't seem to like it, and they certainly don't want to hold on to it for much longer than, I think, about 3 days. They treat it as like a delivery attempt, I think. Something like that. Build a birdhouse with old fence. Well, I have so many. So that was a very wasteful project. If I had to do it again, I would be much. I'd have to really work out. It would be better to just buy an auger and get those posts separated at just the right spacing to maximize your savings and cut down on the amount of wood that you're trimming off the edge. Now, you don't want to go a little short, because you never want to be short, because you can't make the board any longer, right? So you got to make sure that your parameters, sort of err on the shorter side. But still, I was cutting off. They don't make a 10-foot board anymore. In fact, I have some 10-foot boards in the garage. We found one and used it for the cap. And it fit perfectly. It went halfway through one post to the end of the other. Clearly, the guy who built the last fence used 10-foot lumber for that section. Pre-cut. It literally went from the middle of the post to the end of the post perfectly. And I was like, well, there's your answer right there. But you can't buy it. You can't buy the 10-footers. So I had to buy 12-footers and cut 2 friggin' feet off of every one. And then they wouldn't sell me. They don't stock the 10-foot or 12-foot in a 4-inch. So I had to buy it in a 6-inch and then run it through the table saw to cut them down to the right size. Now, it looks great. It all worked out. But, it's a lot of friggin' waste. But I was able to take the leftover waistbands. Let me see if I can find that. I'll show it to you. And use them at the top as that strip. So it wasn't a complete waste, but it was pretty friggin' wasteful. I would really have to plan it out a little bit better. So, as you can see here, These long ones here, we had to cut these so that they would match the thickness of these, right? And so that's where we got these strips. We just used the leftover strips for the top part, which is perfectly spaced too. So it all works out, right? It all worked out, but still, a lot of work, a lot of waste. I'd be way more budget conscious if I was going to do the 19 segment fence. Way more budget conscious, or else that's going to freaking get out of control. You have 2 lumber yards near you? Yeah. I could probably get some better lumber and go to a better lumber yard and do a little bit better, but be a little bit more money, without a doubt. And it's definitely a farther drive. There's no close lumber yards to me. All lumber yards are farther than Home Depot. Every single one of them. So then it's like, what am I doing? Thoughts on the new Soldano pedal? Well, I don't have one. I haven't had a chance to play through one. But they sounded nice. I've heard a couple of demos. I think they sound like it basically sounds like the amp, but not quite as oomphy. I'd say it's like, 80 and 90% there. The tone of their amp. I thought it sounded pretty good. It's that mid push, that creamy mid push that Soldano was sort of known for. Jet City amps, anybody? Exactly, would not want to do that. And that was my first fence. I mean, you gotta admit, for my first fence, it's pretty good. I mean, I don't want to pat myself on the back, but I will. This old house? Oh, yeah. Oh, God. It'll be like an R-rated This Old House. It'll get real ugly real fast. I mutter to myself nonstop, just ask the neighbors. I'm always arguing with an inanimate object. Come on, you son of a bitch. Nick, I thought about putting a gate on it, but I talked about it with Bobby today. I think we sort of agreed that the gate would give us a little bit more privacy. Obviously, I could build the gate, no problem. I'd make it out of a couple of 4x4s and a couple of 2x4s, and I'd be able to put together with probably even with a lot of the leftover wood, I could probably put something together that would look a bit rustic but would work. But I just think that it's just one more obstacle to get in the backyard. They make gate kits. You can get the hinges and the lock and everything, and it's just a matter of making the panel and just having a compression. Right, you have to put a compression support, at a 45-degree angle to keep the gate from literally collapsing on itself over time under gravity. But it's a lot of work, and I just feel like I'm going to be forever like pissing and moaning about how I have to keep the gate open with some sort of like hook or something, and I'm like, I don't think I want to do it. I don't think so. Love yourself enough to pat myself on the back and buy another guitar? Oh, you know what? Let me show you a guitar I was looking at earlier. I showed it to Bobby. Now, I'm going to start out right now. It has the world's hideous knobs on it, but as we all know, the knobs are very easily changed. I'm just going to warn you right now, the knobs are hideous. Somebody obviously changed them. They changed them to something they thought looked good. It objectively looks horrible. I think there's no arguing that. Because it's a traditional guitar and they're sort of modern knobs. They look out of place, if you ask me. Doo-doo. All right, I found it. I found it. I do like. I like this color. Just let me know. Give me your thoughts on this. Let me know what you think. You know, it's a Les Paul. It's a T, so it's a traditional. But the Maniac put whatever the hell this is. I can't explain. I don't know what that. Nobody knows what that is. It's that's you know, you look at that and you go, no, that's a shame. They don't even match. They're the wrong color. They're like more white than cream. But I just love the color, right? I could just see this with a set of gold speed knobs, right? Or even a set of gold top hats, or even I'd go gold or black silver caps. I mean, I just think any other knob, any other knob but the knob he has on there, I think is an improvement. But I just thought it was a good looking guitar. Nice dark fretboard. I just like the look of the blue. You know, I think it's a good looking guitar. What do you think? You know, it's the full on paint, which I kind of like. You know, full on. I guess that's Pelham blue. The Taking of Pelham Blue 1 through 3. With Walter Matthau. I gotta say, I kind of like the color. I'm just thinking it looks pretty good. Until you get to right here. And then you're like, it's your head shaking going, what? They don't even match! Anyway, it's a little pricey too for a T. You know, for a standard T. I thought it was a little on the pricey side, but I will say this: Guitar Center they've jacked up their prices quite a bit used. They're starting to come down a little bit. I'm seeing a lot of stuff get their prices slashed. They had a bunch of Acoustasonics on there. They were trying to get, you know, $14, $15, $16, $99. They're slashing them down to $11.99, $12.99 for the USA. It's not the Mexican one. The USA made one. It's a $2,000 guitar. So they were trying to get $14, $15, $1,600. They're slashing them down to $11.99, $12.99. So again, softening, right? Just not moving. I'm seeing a softening on a lot of the Strats too. Because they stick around for too long, and eventually they say, you know what, we got to move this. You know. So let's talk about our main topic tonight. The AI. So what led me to talk about AI, and all the images of the thumbnail were generated automatically by an AI image generator. And I just entered like you know, a spaceship shaped like a guitar, a colorful spaceship shaped like a guitar floating in space. And every single one of those was an interpretation. What you do is they give you types of art, like pencil art or hard cartoon graphics art, or more like an oil painting, and you choose like the style you want, and it makes it. And I just went around and tried a bunch of different styles. But what kind of came up this week was, I don't know if you guys know who Holly or Holly Plus is, Holly. Holly is an AI singer. Holly Plus, I think, is the latest version of Holly. And under the name, you just search up Holly Herndon, Herndon, covering Jolene. You know, the what's her name there? Dolly Parton song, Jolene, right? She sounds good. She sounds like a real friggin' singer. It's stunning how good. It's not quite the same feel as the original. It's a little bit more laid back. But it's good. It does not sound artificial. It's stunningly realistic. And so I would check that out. And so when I heard that, I saw that it sort of came out this week, and I went over and checked it out. And I was like, wow, that's actually pretty damn good. That's actually really good. You start to wonder, is it just a matter of time before AI can just play every instrument in the band, right? Like to get, because right now, if you went and got a synthesizer, and trust me, I have plenty of experience with synthesizers, they don't sound like real guitars. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard. You don't really get any guitar, just like a saxophone player listens to the saxophones and a trumpet player listens to the trumpets that are on, any brass player, woodwind player, even drummers, they hear the reproductions and they're like, yeah, it's good, but it's not quite there, right? Especially guitar. Guitars are notoriously difficult. It always sounds just a little artificial, right? They can't quite get the nuances down like a real guitar player can. AI might change that, right? It will fill in those little articulations that make it sound fake. Once that gets filled in, right? That's sort of like that little gap between a real performance and a fake performance, right? Small articulations, muting, pinch harmonics, whatever. And it's done in a realistic way, in a way that a guitar player would play it, other than sort of like by key velocity change or whatever. They try to do it with keyboards. They struggle. Keyboards struggle getting guitar sounds. They really, really do. But having heard that singer, I was like, that is damn good. That is damn good. I would not doubt if it's just a matter of time. Maybe it's 5 or 10 years down the road, but eventually, it would just be a matter of programming it. Like you wouldn't need, you could literally, and you just wonder if you could tell, just like AI generated that image, if I could just give it the chords, like I gave it some input, I said, I want this, I want to give it a description of the picture I want it to generate. And then a style, right? That's how it sort of worked. Do you want it like an oil brush, or do you want it like a real photorealistic, or do you want it like a pencil drawing? Those are all choices I could have made when I chose that art, right? They had about 10 or 12 different styles that you could choose from. I could see it where you enter the stuff and choose like, country style, and it being like ridiculously realistic, like scary realistic. At some point, it's not there right now. But someday, I remember 20 years ago, literally 20 years ago, longer, 22 years ago, I worked at this firm, and they had a ridiculous amount of money, right? They're a very wealthy firm. And we would have they had the RASCOM, the Recreation and Socialization Committee. And they had a budget of about $100,000. It was $150,000 a year was their budget, and they usually would spend $75,000 on the Christmas party, and the rest for events throughout the year. This is in 1999, 2000, and we had something going on, some friggin' wine and cheese thing, pumpkin carving, something's going on. We're all standing around, most likely drinking. And we started talking about something that had just come out. Oh, you know what it was? It was the Tupac hologram. The Tupac hologram had just come out, right? They were all talking about Tupac as a hologram. And I remember saying, it'll take a while, but eventually, someday, at some point, John Wayne could star in a movie again, and it would be indistinguishable from the original performance. You could get him to do. It would look like him. It would sound like him. It would look realistic. It would look real. And I gotta say, 20 years into it, we're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah, we couldn't have weed parties. Weed wasn't legal back then. Back then, couldn't have. You could bring in all the booze you wanted. You just couldn't bring weed in. Oh. We go to have our we had some really good Christmas parties. Really good. You know. And what's funny is, you know, now that we're in the holiday season, inevitably, someone gets overly drunk at a Christmas party, and not always, but usually you get one or two that lose their job. They never make the Christmas party sinks them. Never make it back. Never make it back. Mr. Buddy, Mr. Buttles, hello. I don't remember. I remember talking about the Dio. Troll says you remember the Dio hologram shows. They were horrible. I don't remember the Dio hologram. Did they actually pull it off? Did they actually go out and do that? I know Wendy Dio had sort of talked about it, but I don't know. You know, a lot of things, you know, there's a lot of talk, but then at the end they say, you know what? No. But did they do Dio? I thought they go out and do a tribute with the singer, with Ripper Owen? Is that who did it? I'm trying to think. Actually, all the butt pictures in the copier tray. Did they go on the tour with the hologram? Yeah. There's some videos on YouTube. Okay. I don't think people would like to see a robot play live. Then how do you explain Buckethead? Riddle me that. I'm not unboxing these. Sorry, those are just the teas. Unboxing videos will be this week. This week. You're confusing me with Tone King. You understand why people like Buckethead? I tell you, he's really. I saw him live a couple of times. He was amazing, and he's very emotional. He's got a lot of ballads. You don't realize just like how many ballads. Sure, he's got some shred stuff, but no, that dude, he's got some good stuff, man. Really good. Yeah, that's just product placement. That's just clickbait. But you can't click it. John 5 is very good. I do. And did you see, I'm sure you've all heard this, I think we even touched on it last week, but Mick Mars is retired and John 5 is going to continue for the rest of the Motley Crue tour. And just a couple of things. One, as everybody knows, I don't think there's, anybody out there that doesn't know that Mick Mars has suffered from a lifelong condition that slowly fuses his bones together, particularly in his spine. And so he's, always been in discomfort. And it just makes mobility more and more difficult as you get older. He's also 10 years older than the other guys in the band. They're all in their early 60s, and he's in his early 70s. He's like 71. The other guys are like 61, 62, 63. So they're much younger than he is, and he's just feeling the effects of his disease progressing for his entire life, and he's getting older, getting into the the retirement years. And so he's like, I should probably retire. And of course, John 5 is gonna take over, as I mentioned. That said, I remembered hearing, seeing, and checking out Motley Crue before Shout at the Devil came out. I was in a band in '82, and we used to jam at the keyboard player's house in the basement. And he had a bunch of killer keyboards. I still keep in touch with him a little bit. We're friends on Facebook. And he, I remember after a rehearsal or whatever, he's like, he goes, it might have been when we were first getting together. He's like, you got to check these guys because I'm into some like real heavy stuff. And he showed me the album, and I was like, God, these guys looks like, kind of like a, like a retarded Kiss. It was like, it was really out there, right? Back then, very snarly, very angry, and but not the defined makeup that like Kiss had, where their characters wasn't really like that. It was just more like pancake makeup and eyeliner, right? It's a very different look. And but he put him on, and the opening tune was right, Live Wire. And I was like, oh my God, this band is actually pretty good. I remember really enjoying that, going, wow, that the singer sounds like he can sing. It's a great riff, right, that final, right, and then in the middle part where they do the little drum thing. I remember covering that in the band for a while. God, I love that tune. And then so that was '82. I want to say that Shout at the Devil came out in '83. Could have been '84, but I feel like it was '83. Right. There it is. Something like that. I forget it, but And then they did. They had the Helter Skelter cover, which got them a little bit more radio play, any radio play, quite frankly. But what was it? I'm trying to remember it. Right, yeah. And that album did really well, actually. Kind of got them, really cemented them out there in the scene. But I would say they still didn't really have any radio play. It was Smoking in the Boys Room. Right, that really got them on the radio. And then they just crushed it. What really put them on the map was Home Sweet Home. They were playing that on friggin' Kiss 108, which is like a, pop station around here. So all of a sudden they have a big tune, a ballad, the power ballad. It crosses over, and it catapulted them. They went from playing the Orpheum to playing, you know, Worcester, the Worcester Centrum. You know, practically overnight. They went from the Paradise to the Orpheum to the Centrum in like a year. It was a pretty meteoric rise. And of course, by '85, and they're doing that Smoking in the Boys' Room, you know, from Theater of Pain. That's their sort of max glam, right? That's just sort of the glam look sort of maxes out around 85, 84, 85, 86. By 87, the pink is sort of going away. Everybody's trying to wear more just like black and a little bit more like Judas Priest, and less like, you know, where Crew had gone with it, you know. A little bit more just, you know, leather and t-shirts and jeans. They had really switched their look up, I felt. Because, man, in 85, damn, especially Vince, he was glamming hard. Freaking hard that year. They all were, but I felt like Vince in particular. Worcester. You know, and I saw them. I probably saw them at least 2 or 3 times, maybe 4 times in the 80s. I saw Crew, and they were always great. And then I saw them again in 2012, and I thought they sounded really good. I thought it was a really smart move to have those girl backup singers up in the range of Vince to sort of fill in, make it sound like the original Crew, you know, and sort of give a bit more of a studio vibe to it. Because when I saw them in the 80s, they didn't have that. When I saw them in 2012, it was a much bigger production. They did not have, you know, scantily clad backup singers, you know, jumping around. That wasn't a thing in, you know, 88, 87, 88. Yeah, I got a couple back there. It's one's the graphite acoustic, the carbon fiber acoustic, and the other's just kind of a straight up Strat. It's a single double. They want to do another guitar, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna send you another guitar." I'm like, "Yeah, why don't we get these out of the way first?" So we're gonna figure it out. Everybody got their Powerball ticket? I ran out and got a couple of quick picks today. You know, I mean, your chances of winning are extremely low, but there's zero if you don't get at least one ticket. So, I did go get a ticket. I had $6. I said, well, let me see what I have for cash. I had $6. I got 3 quick picks. Only winners, please. You bought 50 tickets. Wow. Got your ticket waiting to win. Yeah, I'm just waiting to win. I know. I really need that money. I took a mortgage out to buy a lot of lottery tickets. Yeah, it's about I'm actually 3 in 292 million. Simple math would reduce that to 1 in 100 million, roughly. So, like I told you, if you live in a state that forces you to put your name out, you should go to a law firm and just have a nominee trust whipped up. Have the funds go to the nominee trust, right? And then the lawyer goes down and collects the money and you remain anonymous. If you win $1 million, no one cares. If you win $1 billion, I feel like you're going to be more of a target, right? There's going to be more going to be more people reaching out screaming about how, they need money for insert sob story here, or, they want to start a company and they just need an investor and it's guaranteed to make money and blah, blah, blah. And, they have some lifelong dream. You know what my lifelong dream was? Winning the lottery, and I did it. So, no. Now I'm just going to take up a residence at the top of the Four Seasons and catch me at my funeral. Yeah, it's about $500 million after. I think it goes something like this. The amount that they claim is double the amount that they've taken in. Right? Something like that. So they know how much they've taken in and they know how much they're taking. They split it 50-50, right? $1 for every $2 that comes in, $1 goes to the state and $1 goes towards the funds, right? The lottery fund. So they know how much they have in the fund, and they extrapolate out that in 29 years they put it into an annuity. But I wouldn't trust that annuity is going to last. It's like I would much rather. 29 years is a long time. So I would feel better just to cash it out. They say you can get the full cash amount, which is the amount that's set aside towards the kitty, right? Towards the amount. That would fund the much bigger number where they give you that number, which is they're trying to inflate it to make it look really big. But the reality is they only have half that money available to actually fund it. So it goes from like over $1 billion to like way under $1 billion, right? And then you pay like a 38% tax rate, and they take 24% right off the top, right, as a down payment towards what they know you're going to have to pay. They don't have to wait for that 38%. I think they take 24% instantly, and then the rest they'll let you work out if you have some deductions. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'd like to claim a few deductions on this. $400 million. So, yeah, you'd have to go to a place that you trust and go to someplace big. You have to remember that, at least in the United States, the maximum guarantee for funds in a bank account is only about $250,000, right? You would have to spread that around to like 1,000 different bank accounts, and you still wouldn't be where, you know what I'm saying? It's like, the better thing to do is you'd have to go to someplace big like Fidelity or Schwab, one of the real big players, and just go to them and stick a bunch. I'd probably split it between like the big three. Probably BlackRock. Who are the biggest three? Probably Fidelity, BlackRock, and Schwab are the three biggest, investment houses in America. And then the other thing is you kind of have to keep quiet about it. I think you put a target on yourself. I mean, again, you win $1 million, no one gives a shit. But $1 billion? That inspires crime. Desperate people do desperate things. And so you just want to take it. Again, getting it anonymously is the way to do it. And then just quietly, I wouldn't even make a big stink about it around here. I'd just quietly get a bunch of stuff fixed and start shopping for a much nicer home. And, I'd probably have a party. I'd have a pretty good party. Probably drop a... Okay, so you win the Powerball. Okay, and you're going to have a big-ass party. Right. So you like rent out like, the MGM, there's a brand new MGM hall. I think, Who just played there? Not John Mayer. Maybe John Legend just play there or whatever. You know, it's like a 5,000 seater, something like that. Brand new. They just opened it up. There's a couple of those in Boston now. You rent that. It's going to run you a few grand. Rent it out. And then you gotta hire a band. I might have like like who do you have, like Steel Panther, followed by Metallica, and then the closer is like Cheap Trick. Lars, I don't think we should be opening for Cheap Trick. You're getting paid. Hire Ace, get Ace Frehley. AC/DC. I know. Jonathan Kraft had Robert Kraft. He hired McCartney for a private party. Played out at Gillette inside a tent in the middle of the stadium floor. Nice little private event. He's had the Stones. He hired the Stones for a private event. I'm sure he's had Elton John there too. What do you think? So I think they were saying that Elton John's like $1 million. He's probably $2 million now, right? That was a while ago I had heard that figure. What do you think Metallica's going to cost you for a night? I got to think $1 million. You know, hire Vinnie Vincent. Jon Favreau had AC/DC play his birthday party. Pretty good. Bring in Slade. Phil X, Skank Banger. Get the Tom Petty hologram. How you talking? Steve Vai. Bet you could get him for pretty short money. And then have Ingve open just to piss him off. Set up your own G3, G12. Just bring in all the guitar players, Eric Johnson, Satriani, Ingve, Vai. Get Richie Kotzen. Yeah, get Zeppelin back together. We're getting Zeppelin back together. Robert Plant's like, bitch, I don't know. I've made a lot of money. That bill, I know it seems pretty big to you, but I wrote Stairway. You get Greg Koch to play a 3-hour set. Get some whips out there. More notes! More notes! He's out there. By all the bursts. All of them. How many bursts did you get? All of them. All the bursts. Hello, Sweden. So, in America, we changed our clocks tonight. So at 2 a.m., through the miracle of agreement in tradition, our clocks will go back 1 hour. So at 2 a.m., they will miraculously turn back to 1 a.m., and I will repeat the 1 o'clock hour back to 2 a.m. again. Just giving back, we're getting back the hour we gave in the spring. But we're going back to standard time. But I don't think that's everywhere. I think that's only here. I don't think Europe's turn. Does Europe turn next weekend or is it this weekend? When does Europe change their clocks back? In fact, it might even go by latitude. That's my ticking. Still ticky. UK was last week. Last weekend in Sweden, yeah. We used to do ours in the middle of October, but they realized that more people used energy at the end of the day than at the beginning, because more people slept in. So there was more energy used at the 5 o'clock hour than at the 6 a.m. hour, 5 p.m. than 6 a.m. So the decision was made to push it later into the year. So we do ours the first Sunday in November, and then we switch back the first Sunday in March. That's our new system. It used to be we would switch in October and April, but it's a shorter daylight. The longer daylight savings period and the shorter daylight standard time. There's been talk about switching us to not like getting off of it and switching to just daylight savings time. So we are right now, our latest, as of this morning, sunrise was around a little after, I want to say 7:30 in the morning, about 7:30 a.m. and sunset at 5:30. And now by tomorrow morning, sunrise will be at 6:30 in the morning, and we get a little bit more morning time. And the afternoon time, dark falls at 4:30 p.m. And what will happen is we'll continue to lose in the afternoon. We max out at about 4:08 in the afternoon. That's our earliest sunset. That's in early December. And but we keep losing in the morning, and the shortest day is still December 21st. And we work our way from 6:30, I think, back up to 7, or maybe a little bit after 7. They want to target that 7 o'clock because they feel like there's more accidents when it's dark in the morning. All right, so they're trying to get the 7 o'clock hour under daylight instead of still under darkness. So I don't think they're ever going to change it because they are worried about it. But then again, you're driving in the dark in the afternoon, but they say you're more awake in the afternoon, you're not as groggy. Boy, what don't they think of? All right, I do have one more suggestion for you. You know what I do? I like to patrol the internet until I find something of interest, and then let you know about it. And this week I found a video that I laughed my ass off on. All right, and you have got to see. The name of the video is Paul McCartney and Rick Rubin listen to Smash Mouth All-Star Stems. Did you get that? It's a mouthful. Paul McCartney and Rick Rubin listen to Smash Mouth All-Star Stems. He's got the stems. And Rick Rubin plays the stems back for Paul McCartney, and they listen to the stems, and they isolate parts of the song, and they talk about it and they get into it, and I really recommend it. And then next week we can discuss, because if you don't figure out what's going on in that video, I'll just say that the video is absolutely just pure genius. The stems, he's speaking AI now? No. So stems are the isolated tracks right? They have all the track. He has all the tracks isolated. So Rick Rubin is at a mixer, and he plays back different parts of All Star, and he's like bringing up parts and taking parts out and playing them, and Paul is listening to it and giving feedback, and they're discussing it, and it's a really, really good video, and quite frankly, just pure genius, and extremely well done. Whoever made that, my hat's off, because that was a lot of work. Well, I'm dying to see if it's those fans. If it is the fans, I'm screwed, though, because I can't take those fans out. I don't know. Maybe I could put some in the back and have them blow up towards the back. I'll have to see. Oh, thanks. Ben found the video. It's a masterpiece. It is an absolute masterpiece. And if you don't know what's going on, just think about it. Just take a minute. You just take a minute and think about it. Steve, do you have an air compressor? Do I have an air compressor? You can't even be serious. I have a 17-gallon vertical oilless, of course, air compressor. They can do 150 psi. Of course, I also have you see the air jet cans now they have? It's like a squirrel fan that shoots out a real strong spray of, so you don't have to use it when you want to blow a computer out. I've been loving those, the little canister blowers. They're friggin' awesome. Do I have a nail gun? I have 4 nail guns. I have a nail gun? Are you insane? Yeah, of course I have a brad nail, 18 gauge brad nail, 16 gauge brad nail, probably an 18 gauge stapler / brad nailer, and a big boy, a framing nailer, because everybody needs a framing nailer. The canister blower is great. The canister blower is great. That's a relatively recent thing, little squirrel fan canister blowers. They work really well. And, you don't have to fire up so I used to buy canned air. Then I stopped doing that because that's a waste of money. And I moved on to just, filling up the air compressor, and I, have a blower, a blow nozzle, spray nozzle, air nozzle. And so I used that for a while, but even that became a pain in the ass. Now I just have the canister blower. God, for cleaning out computers, for cleaning out amps and equipment and stuff. You take it out there. Great, real good. Exactly. Every problem is a nail. You ever just shoot the nails? No. I don't mess around with it. I don't mess around with the nail gun. You know, if you've ever had a nail where you're holding onto a beam, go in, hit something and curve back out so instantly, you realize, wow, if my hand was there, that would be right in the middle of my palm right now. It's so fast. It's like, boom, oh man, oh, well, glad my hand wasn't there. You know, yeah, you gotta be careful with those. The nail gun will make the computer stop ticking, sure. I have a couple of hammers that'll do it too. Oh yeah, I say nailed it every time I use it. Nailed it. Nailed it. Nailed it. In fact, I just bought another nail gun because I managed to break my little Brad nailer. And I was going to order one off of Amazon. You can buy one of the little Wens, like little Chinese-made Wen. They got high ratings, $27.99, $28. But Harbor Freight had their nail gun on sale for $19.99. It's about the same quality, right? It's a plastic cartridge. You know, the guy was like, "Do you want to get the warranty on it?" I'm like, "You can't even be serious." For $20, this is a disposable air nailer. The second it jams and I can't fix it, it's right in the trash. Had to get used to the air hammer. Tore off a couple of bolts before I got the hang of it. Yeah. Oh, I had not oiled my what is it there? The impact wrench, right? The impact gun for the take the wheels off, you know, on the car. It was like oh, huh. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I loaded it up with oil and then let it sit in the sun for a little bit, warm up, get that oil going in there, a little capillary action. And then all of a sudden, back to normal again. The best. And God, how else did you go fishing? Well, I used to fish with a bow and arrow. I'd put a razor tip on it, and on the front of the bow, I had a 25% drop off compound bow. I can't remember the name of the bow company. I can't remember the name of it. But I had a compound bow. But most compound bows are 50% drop off. It was a 25%. It was known as a speed bow. But it sucked. I really should have just got the 50% because it sucked holding that bow. And on the front, there's a place where you can put a stabilizer rod, right, to absorb some of the shock, right, from the bow. But I would just get a screw and I would put a little mount. I'd get a mount for a fishing rod, and I'd put an open reel, fishing reel on there. I'd tie it on the back of the arrow, on the ass end of the arrow, and then you get down the river. You'd wait till a catfish or a carp got up to the surface, and then whack, and they have it run off, and you reel it in on the arrow. It's amazing that none of us took an arrow to the chest or the neck or the friggin' arse, like all the times. Like oh my God, just thinking back, some pretty risky behavior. putting in the wood floors with a floor nailer. Or do you have the one that's triggered by the hammer, right? So you lay it in place and then you give it the old whack-a-do. And when it gets to the bottom and it seals everything in, it drops the nail at the same time. Boom, boom, boom. That type of nailer? Any thoughts on the Select guitar, Steve? Thinking about a Fender Select Jazzmaster, beautiful guitar, but $3,500? No, I wouldn't pay $3,500 for it. Dude, the last time I saw a Select Jazzmaster, it was like $1,999, $2,100. I wouldn't pay $3,500 for it. It didn't sell for that new, right? Those guitars had a $3,000 list, and they sold about $2,200, $2,300. The last Fender Select I bought was a Fender Select Strat, and it didn't come with a case, so it was discounted a little bit, but I paid $899. The one before that, I think I paid $1199. And they were regularly up there. The Strats and the Tellys are up there for between $13.99 and $17.99. Now, I know prices are up a little bit, but just let them sit and stew. They'll start to come down. $3,500 is way too much. I wouldn't pay anything. I wouldn't pay a dime over $2,500. And even $2,500, I'd feel reluctant. Really want to be around $22,000, $23,000 for a Select. A carved top Select Jazzmaster with the flame top and the bird's eye maple neck. I'd max out at about $2,200, $2,300. That's what they sold for brand new. Yeah, riding in the back of a pickup truck down the highway. I know. Pretty stupid, I know. That's... Carpenter put a frame nail right through the front of his knee. Damn. Well, at least it went through pretty quickly. I'm sure. He says, I stepped on a nail as a kid, went all the way through. Yeah, I've never had that. I did have a piece of tar that was in my knee, and I could feel it when I would nail for like a couple of years. And it took like a couple of years, but eventually it worked its way to the surface and started to break through. And you could see the tar, like the skin was breaking down. It was like literally ejecting it. And I remember going to my parents and saying like, what the hell is this? And grabbing a pair of tweezers and pulling out this big chunk of asphalt. My mother going, whoa! I was like, yeah, it's probably not good. Sat on a roofing nail once, didn't hurt till you had to pull it out, I bet. I fell on an ice pick. Frozen upright in the ground, went through your hand. Oh my God. Had to interlock fingers with the other hand to pull it off. That's painful. I don't know if anyone else gets this, but sometimes when you hear a real painful story, it's like all your nerves, like right down to your nutsack, you can just, like a shot of electricity through you. Like, oh man, like it hurts. Exactly, get your tetanus shots. the difference between nailing or screwing. Intensity. Speed and intensity. Greetings, Argentina. Just seeing if there's anything here I haven't covered, but I covered it all. I keep my notes right here. My notes are 1, fence, 2, videos that fall under the Paul McCartney and Rick Rubin, and the Jolene, the Holly Plus. New computer, and it's wicked hot. What is it, 22 C out? Yeah. In November. Why, God, why? I should have a few videos coming out this week, though, without a doubt. Had a red hot piece of metal go through your glove and between your thumb and your pointing finger. Oh man, that sucks. Everything just tensed up and you're right, exactly. Powerball, Trillion Bus, go Bruins. Oh my God. You know, if you guys just want to talk just very quickly about a story, it's a lesson for the kids. The lesson is how to shoot yourself in the dick. All right. So this is how you do it. You have an amazing 2 weeks as a hockey club. You literally have the best record in hockey. You have the most amount of points. You're riding high. Everybody's going, oh my God, the Bruins are doing so amazing. Oh my God. How can we shoot ourselves in the dick? Well, you can sign a kid who was found not that long ago. I think he's 20 or 22. I think he's 20. He was found when he was 14 to have harassed a mentally disabled kid to the point where criminal action had been taken. I mean, it takes a special type of douchebag to like pick, and his mother said it went on for years. From second grade, it came to a head in like 8th grade. And finally, like, the police got involved, and the judge even said to that dude, I don't think you're remorseful at all. I think you're just going through the motions here. I mean, it was like very damning. Everything about the whole story was horrible. And this is the kid they signed. And the backlash was swift and immediate. You want to talk about blowing up in your face? That story broke yesterday. Every single sports talk, they had a 4-hour show. It was 4 hours on that story. They broke to nothing. It was crazy. Then it came out today. Turns out that kid isn't he's not even eligible to be signed. So just even more egg on their face. First of all, you sign this kid who has got some serious baggage. A PR nightmare. And they finally said, well, did he ever apologize to the kid? And they were like, well, he apologized to him. And then it came out that he apologized to him last week at the behest of the Bruins. It's like, what? It was like so bad. And it was like, you have a team that's doing so well. They're crushing. They're doing so great. They don't need this. And yet they found a way. They found a way to just take all this beautiful capital and just burn it all up. Because no one's talking about their amazing record and how great they're doing this year. How they had a couple of amazing comebacks, down 3 goals, and they come back and force it to overtime for a win. All these amazing stories out the window. All they could focus on was that signing. Boy, it's a lesson. Yeah. Well, the details, I won't get into the details because, quite frankly, they're disturbing. But the amount of torture that they did to this kid, who at age 14, they said was basically about the mentality of about a 10-year-old. And it was just despicable. Just absolutely despicable. And you're hearing this stuff and you're going like, oh my God. No wonder the cops got involved. It's like, just bad, really bad. So, again, apparently he's not a valid signing, so I think it's going away. This is all they're gonna. If he's not already gone, I'm sure he'll be gone by maybe the end of the weekend. I think what they were gonna, it blew up so bad in their face. I think what they were gonna just quietly have him get out of Providence, skate around a little bit, and say, we had him skate around for a week. It didn't work out. He's gone, right? And just not. But then they found out he wasn't even eligible to be signed. It's like, who's running this place? What the hell are you guys doing over there? Are you a professional sports team or what? Oh yeah, listen, everybody has baggage, but you know what? And everybody, they have things they regret. But this kid didn't seem to regret it. He seemed to regret getting caught. He seemed to regret having to deal with it. And quite frankly, I'm glad that it's going to cost him, most likely, a hockey career. Because the second he got hired, and I think there was another team who picked him up. And they quickly, once that came to light, they quickly dismissed him. That's why everybody was like, who doesn't know this? Who doesn't know that this kid's got baggage that you can't get rid of? It's too much baggage. It's too, right? It was just too much. Again, when they got into the details of the stories, it was like, oh my God, that's really bad. 10 minutes to cat release, yeah. Oh yeah, just a reminder, I will be on Ben Coombs's live show tomorrow night at 8 p.m. So 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know, Ben, are you crossing over tonight? North America, I think we all do at the same time. So is your tomorrow night going to be the same? Is your 8 p.m. tomorrow night going to be the same as my 8 p.m. tomorrow night? You switching clocks tonight, bro? Man, I'm looking at the backstory on this. It's wild. No, it is. It's wildly depressing. It really is. Yep, you're switching to, okay, good. Okay, so we'll be on the same page. So I won't be at 8 p.m. on there at 7 p.m. 2 a.m. will need more coffee, I know. And the other thing that sort of blew up in their face was they kept saying, like, well, there was the incident. Like, it was like this one thing. The guy had a moment of, like, bad judgment. No. This was like years and years of bullying and torture on a kid who's mentally disabled. And it culminating where finally the police get involved and the story, and the judge admonishing this kid. And then he never, like the mother said, he never uttered the words. The only reason that we even got any apology was because the court mandated it. And then when the Bruins wanted to make an apology, it's not like he called the kid or called like a representative and said, I just want to say I'm really sorry about that. He said he was sorry in an Instagram post. Oh yeah. rosewood or maple fretboard. Which you prefer? You know, it depends on the guitar. See, for me, it's more of like a recipe, right? So like on certain guitars, I just think that like the Charvel, like Super Strats, I like them with the maple. I think it looks good. The EVHs look good with maple, but they look good with ebony too. You know, but you know, sometimes you know the rosewood, you know, like on a Les Paul, it's like, and even sometimes on just a straight up Strat, I like more of the '60s look. You know. Oh, thank you, Gary. Coffee, guitar, and horns. Not necessarily in that order. Green Meanie says you have to wonder what his parents did to him. Well, they were kind of talking like that, but apparently they had gone out. It had come out that they went out, and the dad was just like, whatever. They're like, it just came from an apparent complete lack of, you know, caring about the entire thing. His dad seemed to be, right? Don't you remember? Was it Buddy Hinton? Right? Finish this. Baby talk, baby talk. What's the next line? You know it. We're calling out my Brady Bunch people here, right? What happened when his dad went to go see Buddy Hinton's dad? His dad was like, so? Exactly, to show that kid follows him on Instagram. Exactly. In the victim's dad's statement, he says the hockey players' parents just glare at them for ruining their son's career. I know, exactly. You don't remember that? Baby talk, it's a wonder you can walk. And Peter did put a beat down on him. Kind of sort of closed his eyes and threw a fist. And he knocked a tooth loose. Do you remember that? And then all of a sudden he sounded like, in a very poetic justice, it was exactly like the person he had victimized. That's some damn good writing. I expect to see more senior Brett Favre's fraud trial. Oh God, Brett Favre. He's up for douche of the year, huh? The steel trap that is your brain. Do you remember Buddy? Remember Buddy's name? Of course. Who could forget? Buddy Hinton. Who could forget? I mean, he's no Johnny Bravo. Nice looking HP. This is an Amarok. I'm a rock, you're a rock, we're all a rock. It's the Amarok. Got the ebony fingerboard, the stainless steel frets, flambe top, EMGs. I tell you, I've been playing this guitar the last couple of, like, probably a good 2 weeks now. And it sort of made its way out into the rotation, at least for now. Wanted to work Marsha. Remember when Marsha got the job at the ice cream parlor? And then Jan came in, was like a much better worker. Winds up getting Marsha fired. Is that a veneer? I would hope. It's got to be, right? Of course it is, right? Because they color it. Of course it is. Yeah, there's no way it's not a veneer. Though it is a maple cap, right? You can see the cutaway there. But I'm sure it's a plain maple cap, and then it's just a veneer. All right, don't get me started. All right, here's another one. What on the Brady Bunch? What did Mom always say? Mom always said. Finish that sentence. Mom always said. ... Have a good one, Speaker. Talk soon, buddy. Ah, BC Rich got it. Never play ball in the house. That's almost, Alan. It's not don't play ball in the house. It's never play ball in the house. Never play ball in the house. Oh, my nose. Oh, my nose. Hey, Charlie. Something suddenly came up. Anyway, all right, dudes. You don't want to mind, this for Brady Bunch material. It's deep. It's a never-ending pit of Brady Bunch. All right, dudes. No, you rock. I will see you guys in a week. I have a couple of videos finally coming out this week. Had to get a bunch of stuff done, but it's done. Fence is complete. And I don't know what I'm going to do with this computer. I'm probably just going to have to switch your back. Switch your back now. You rock. Super thanks to everyone for hanging out tonight. Extra super special thanks to anyone who contributed. I really do appreciate that. And of course, brofist to my mod squad. #mod squad. And catch me tomorrow night on Ben Coombs' show. He had a last-minute cancellation. He was supposed to have... What was that? Mick... Is it Jagger? Yeah, anyway, he canceled. So they got me. I'll be on there tomorrow night. Waxing nostalgia about some episode of some sitcom I saw in the 70s. That's the level of entertainment you can expect from this blockbuster event. It's an event. Sometimes there's an event so epic it becomes part of our shared heritage. That will be tomorrow night's show. There you go. All right, dudes. No, you rock. We'll see you at the very least tomorrow night. And definitely a week from tonight. Right back here. We'll do it all over again. Where I tell you about the stuff I did that week. It's fascinating. My life is so amazingly boring. Anyway, no, you rock. And we will we'll see you here in a week. Have a good one. And there you go. And watch my videos this week. They'll be coming out. So it helps if you click on them. There you go. No, you rock. All right. I really am going. I swear to God. Right, exactly. Pork chops and applesauce. And remember, you have to say it like James Cagney, or was it Humphrey Bogart? It was Humphrey Bogart. Anyway, there you go. Later. No, you hang up. Bye.